I watched every snap of the free agents that the Bears signed, and I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons why these moves can be the spark that send the Chicago Bears to the top of the mountain. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you the 1 reason that no one is talking about that could be what finally ends the drought and brings the Lombardi Trophy back to Chicago. Let's talk about it. Before we get into the reasons, I gotta tell y'all something. I watched 609 snaps, nice, of a Deshaun Watson led offense. Not nice. So if y'all can just do me a huge favor and smash that like button and subscribe, I'd very much appreciate that. Now let's get into the reasons. Reason number 1.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
The Bears defense didn't just change. It got faster. Ryan Poles basically looked at that defense and Thanos snapped them out of existence. They moved on from players like Edmonds, Briskers, Byards. And listen, I love those players. They were dogs, but facts are facts. And they were players on a horrific defense. 29th in total defense, 22nd in passing, and 27th in rushing defense. That is just an awful unit. The only thing they were good at? Turnovers. But we all know that turnovers are not sustainable year to year. And instead of being a degenerate gambler like the rest of us and Poles letting it ride, he made the smart move and made necessary adjustments to the defense. He added guys like Devin Bush, Kobe Bryant, Cam Lewis, with the theme being clear: speed, baby. Because for Dennis Allen's defense to work, you need speed. He loves to blitz. He loves to run stunts. He loves to play man to man. You can't do that when your defense looks like they're running in mud. And Dennis Allen has proven in the past, if he's got guys that are bought into his system, top 10 defense. Just look at the Saints 2020 and 2022 defenses. Top tier defenses with the right guys in the system. So not only did Poles add great defensive players, he added players that fit Dennis Allen's scheme. And that's a dangerous combination. Reason number 2. Now this next part doesn't get talked about enough. Special teams. It's a third of the game, and it blows my mind how many general managers just straight up ignore the importance of special teams. And as Bears fans, we've been on both ends of a bad special team moment and a great one. So we know the importance of special teams and how much of a difference maker they can be. And Poles knows this as well, and he addressed it with the free agent signings, signing Daniel Hardy, Khalif Raymond, DeMarco Jackson, and Cam Lewis, all great contributors to the special team units and also awesome depth pieces for the positions that they play. Daniel Hardy led the team in special teams tackle last year. Raymond, he was an all-pro returner twice. And DeMarco Jackson, if we didn't have him last year, I think we lose 3 to 4 games when we lost all our linebackers. The NFL regular season is a war of attrition. Depth matters, and Ryan Poles made great signings to give us the best roster possible for when the injuries do happen. Reason number 3. With the uncertainty at left tackle due to Ozzie being out for the majority of the season, Ryan Poles made a great move by signing Braxton Jones and Jedrick Wills Jr. to cheap 1-year prove-it deals. Now look, both these players have their flaws. Braxton Jones was often missing assignments. It's the reason why he got yanked last season and why Ben Johnson didn't put him on the field for the rest of the season. Wills has a long list of injuries. It's why he sat out all of last season to get healthy. And truthfully, they're both not great tackles. But there is one thing that I believe in that will make these tackles work, and that's Ben Johnson and our O-line coach, Dan Rochar. I trust these men to get the most out of these tackles. Worst case scenarios, we just got more depth. Best case scenario, we got a starting left tackle for an extremely cheap deal. Now these tackles aren't long-term solutions, but they're good enough to bridge the gap between Ozzie's injuries and see if Ozzie can come back at full strength. And if not, Ryan Poles could potentially use some day 3 drafts on a project left tackles, knowing that they have a couple years to get him right for the NFL. Now, the reason that I think will actually be the difference maker of the Bears finally lifting the Lombardi Trophy, it's leadership. Case Keenum, Khalil Raymond, Katavius Street, all veteran leaders that were signed to do one thing: mentor the young talent that's on this roster. Case Keenum is great friends with Caleb Williams off the field. They have an amazing relationship, and in any mic'd up video, he's always next to Caleb talking to him, giving him feedback and positive reinforcements that he is that guy. Now, there are other veteran quarterbacks that you can bring in, but due to his relationship with Caleb, there's no one else I want to be mentoring this kid and helping foster him into the potential superstar quarterback that we are hoping that he becomes. Raymond is a savvy vet who during his press conference talked about the most important thing about football: your mental fortitude. Everyone in the NFL is fast, everyone is strong, but the difference between good and great players is your preparation and how you control your emotions in heavy pressurized situations. Are you going to be the player that falls and crumbles under the pressure when the lights are shining its brightest? Or are you going to be the same person you've been since day one? That is the difference between winners and losers in this league, and Raymond knows that. And I am so excited to get someone with that kind of mindset in this young, talented wide receiver room, especially for Luther Burden, who is dynamite with the ball in his hand. The only problem with him is he's inconsistent with his assignment. And in a Ben Johnson's offense, where the details of the exact yard and the exact timings of routes either makes or breaks the play, it's pivotal to know your assignment and to execute it 100% of the time. I think Raymond's going to be a great mentor for Burden, but also that wide receiver room as a whole. Lastly, Kentavious Street. He was brought in to be the standard of how defensive linemen play in this defense. He's just going to be a rotational player, but the D-line coach has set the expectation. He's going to be the guy that shows everyone in that D-line room how to prepare and how to play come Sunday. They want to have an attacking system. They want to be playing on the offense side of the line of scrimmage. They want to be rushing the quarterback into the run, meaning that they are attacking gaps. They are attacking blocks. They're not being passive, catching blocks, playing two gaps. They are attacking their gaps and getting in the backfield and creating havoc. Street has played in this defense. He's going to bring all that knowledge into this D-line room, which is ideally going to get younger through the draft, and be the guy to mentor them and shape them into the monsters of the midway. These signings go unnoticed. People don't see the impact that these players have on a day-to-day basis for the players that play on Sunday. We as fans, we only care about if they execute, if they perform their job at their highest level. But these guys are grinding day in and day out. Practice, meetings, weight training, everything. And who you're surrounded by, the guy that's sitting next to you and across the hall, matters. And Ryan Poles fully understands that it's not just on our superstars, it's everyone in the building from the very top all the way to the very bottom. And that just makes me so excited that Poles is building a roster as best as he can to get the absolute most out of our players. So unfortunately, the 3-time defending offseason champs probably aren't going to four-peat this year, but Ryan Poles might have done something better. He's built a contending roster that can compete in January year in and year out. He's not jeopardizing our future by going all in on a single player. He's given himself the flexibility to attack the draft best way he thinks he can. I believe he's going to attack the safety positions and the D-line, but I wouldn't be surprised if he drafted a center or a left tackle on day 2 or 3. He can either trade up if he really likes a guy, or trade back and accumulate more picks. He has all the flexibility in the world because he has set up the roster to be competitive right now. And it's only going to get better with the young draft picks that we're going to get. I'm ecstatic to see what Poles does during the draft, and even more excited to see these boys start playing in September. And ideally, we get to see this team playing the most important game of them all, and finally, once again, take that Lombardi and lift it up with some orange and navy blue confetti falling down. If you made it this far, thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, bear down, Chicago Bears.